That love bombing thing, you have to understand where it's coming from, and usually it's coming from them, and it's not really about you.
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video is almost like an update of a video I posted a couple of weeks ago of the lady who met now fiance barely 30 days and they are engaged. They met on match.com and this lady is getting married to this man, and this got a lot of people talking. And this lady, she's an older black woman saying that she's getting married and all that and all that. If you haven't seen that video, go check out that video so that you can understand what this video is. So apparently with the whole controversy that's going on and the video trending and going viral and everybody talking about it, this lady's man, okay, now fiance or soon to be a husband, ex-girlfriend or ex-girlfriend he dated and also aka love bomb her allegedly, has come to share her story. But first, before she came to share her story, her best friend was the one that came to share her story on her page, and she actually broke down the relationship, and which just kind of seemed like it's almost the same thing he's doing to this woman. If you haven't seen that video, go check out that video. I'll leave it down in the description box and also up in the card. Go check out that video so you understand what this woman is talking about. So in this video, we're going to see our best friend, the ex-girlfriend of this man, talk about the relationship from a best friend level, and also the ex-girlfriend herself actually sharing some of the things that is similar to a lot of the things this woman had shared with us about their relationship. Anyway, guys, let's go check it out, then we'll come back and talk more.
30 days ago, I met a man on Match.com and we're getting married. Let's get into it.
So last night I saw that TikTok video, and before I continue with my video, I want to make it very clear that I have discussed the situation with my friend, and she has given me permission to talk about it here on TikTok. So last night I saw that video, and I'm like, this gentleman looks like very familiar, but it's a side view, so I'm not really sure. I sent the video to my girlfriend. My girlfriend calls me. She's like, that's my ex. I was like, are you sure? She's like, that's my ex. Mind you, she dated this man for 9 months, so she knows what he looks like. Either way, because it's a side view, I'm just like, I'm not really too sure. So I went to the woman's page and I zoomed in on the WhatsApp communication on his profile picture, and I can clearly see that that's him, but he's going by a different name. So I start to tell my girlfriend the name, and she cuts me off and she completes his name, and she was like, yes, that's his middle name. His family calls him by that name. However, she always preferred to call him by his first name. So like my mind is blown because I'm like, this man is really recreating y'all relationship. And he appears to be a serial love bomber. He contacted my girlfriend December 27, 2022 via Instagram DM. Her birthday is December 29th. This man sent her, money for her to go to the spa and sent her money for food for her birthday. Within 1 week of communication, he already told her that he loves her. He continued to give her gifts, send her gifts because they live in different states. He continued to make sure that he was in constant communication with her. Like she really felt like this was the real thing. Spiritually, emotionally, like everything just felt like this was great. This is happening for her. It was so serious that he was actually asking her to, come and move out there. He wanted her to stop her master's degree that she was doing in the state that we're living in and come move where he lives, and then she will be able to continue her degree there. And he continually asked her to the point that she got upset, and she told him no, she's not going to do that. And it was insensitive because she has obligations where she lives, and she's not willing to just ignore those things. And so he eventually apologized to her for that, for being so pushy about her moving out so quickly. So they continued to stay together. Things were really, really serious. She met his mother. She met his children. He met her family. He met her children, which is a very big thing to her because she dates, but no one gets to meet her children. And congratulations to my girlfriend. She actually graduated December 2023 with honors, coming off of a relationship that she honestly didn't see that was going to end. She, in fact, was at his place in, I believe, around Labor Day. And because they were picking up furniture and they were really setting up for her to make that move to come live out there. What I am pointing out is that when somebody comes to you and they want to tell you that they love you, they want to make it seem like you're the best thing for them, and it's a very short period of time, I think it's very important for you to be cautious, and then for you to think about, are they telling you these things because it's you, or are they telling you because it's them? I see similarities to what this woman has shared. And I also like even visually seeing certain similarities. This is actually a picture of my girlfriend, and I just see like this as a lot of red flags. And all I can say is that, ladies, just be careful, pay attention. It's great to feel love. It's great to feel wanted, but that love bombing thing, you have to understand where it's coming from, and usually it's coming from them, and it's not really about you. So that's my story time. Actually, one last thing. I'm not saying that this man didn't love my friend, nor am I saying that he does not love this woman. It's just you cannot ignore the red flags. This man was with my girlfriend, a very serious relationship, that he was telling her that he's been waiting for her his whole life, that she is everything to him. And now, fast forward, a month and a half to 2 months later, you're already dating someone else, and now you're telling them the same thing, and you're actually engaged to them. Red flags are red flags. And that is the end of my story time.
So that was the ex best friend coming to share the story. After she shared that story, a lot of people were like, you know what, we want to hear from the horse's mouth. Let her come share her story. We want to hear from her. Some people didn't really believe the story. But now the ex has come to set the record straight, to tell our own story by herself from our own mouth. And yeah, let's go hear what she has to say. Then we'll come back and talk more.
Hey y'all, so I just wanted to come on here real quick and say a couple of things. First and foremost, I got to give the biggest shout out to my bestie, because the amount of love and support that this woman pours into my spirit is insane. I want you guys to know that she is a woman of the utmost integrity. She is so conscientious of the energy that she puts out into the world that even if it's a meaningless post, she's not going to go on there and give anybody any negative energy and any negative comments. So it wouldn't have been her to see what she saw and be like, girl, let me tell you about your man. What's your number? Let me text you. That's just not who she is. She's all about love and light. That's the first thing that I'll say. As far as what led her to post about it, she was honestly shocked. Like less than 3 months after the fact, she was witnessing somebody at the brink of experiencing what I did. This woman literally saw me plummet into depression. Plummet is the only word to be used, because I absolutely regressed. I regressed from my family. I regressed from my friends. There were extreme highs, extreme lows. And the reason that I regressed is because how could I explain to everybody else? How could I make it make sense to somebody else that this person told me that they loved me within a week, that this person was spending thousands of dollars on me without knowing me, that this person was pushing me to drop the master's program that I was in and move to his city and go to a master's program there. We'll figure out what to do with my kids after, and never mind about the life that you have there, because this was meant to be. You are my person. I've been waiting for you forever. And yes, there was a vulnerability in me that allowed for me to be receptive to that. I know where that comes from. I'm accountable for that. I saw the red flags and I ignored them because I was in a space where I wanted to believe that someone could really see that much amazing in me and want me. But, all my spidey senses were tingling. And because I am the person that I am, I had to question things. I had to bring things up. And that led to chaos. That led to chaos because, this person didn't want to be confronted with the half-truths, the lies, the discrepancies, like the things that kept coming up for me. Like, it just would not sit with me. And it eventually it just got to the point where, I know my bestie told everybody in the comment section that I became aware that there were social media platforms that were being used for getting to know you conversations. There were exes that he was in communication with that knew nothing about me. And, I should have left at that point, and I didn't. And it turned into a situation that was just volatile because it was like there was no trust. Nothing ever got physical. It was just hard to be in harmony no matter how hard. And he tried. He really did try. The last home stretch, during the end of the summer, he was making physical space for me in his home, was buying furniture that was to my liking to fill guest rooms, and was, buying things for our bedroom for us to be able to make it our little cocoon. But at the end of the day, and we had said that I would move down there after graduation in June. But at the end of the day, you are who you are, right? And no matter how much you try to people please and accommodate or what have you, it builds up a resentment. Like everything that he felt he had to do in order to, you know, make up for the discrepancies and the missteps or what have you, became something, the coping mechanisms were just not sustainable. And it created a rift between us that we could not bridge. And there was no trust, and it made the arguments bigger, and it made the gaslighting worse, and it made the silent treatment. It was just too much. And the final fight was the fight that it was. And here we are now. At the end of the day, I have given gratitude for the role that this relationship has played in my personal development. It really put a mirror up to me, and I've had to be very introspective and tap into those parts of me that still, after, like, you know, I'm big on therapy. There's been years of therapy to address different things, and there's still parts of me that still need to heal in order not to be receptive to love bombing, in order to accept somebody for who they are, see who they are, and walk away from them, and not try to change their story to fit my narrative of what my hope is and desire is based on a dream that, you know, we wrapped ourselves up into. And my hope would be that the awareness that we're bringing to this would wake up other people, and not this woman, because I know what she's experiencing. I know what he's like. She is in love. And that story's going to play out the way that it does. This video was not about this person dismantling their relationship. I usually do posts, actually, about my relationship. I just hadn't gotten around to doing it because I was finishing up my master's. Sheesh, that was a lot. But I hope that brings clarity to everyone, especially to what the intention was behind it for my bestie. Like I said, she is all about female empowerment. She's all about mental health awareness. She is all about healthy relationships. And, you know, and with her support and with the support of my family and just like my wherewithal and my understanding of things, I will walk forward and, you know, into the rest of my beautiful life, and I will attract the healthy love into my life. And I'll probably be tested again, because that's just the way that the universe is, and I'll be prepared for it. I'll be prepared to set my boundaries and walk away from those red flags. So that's it, people. I don't know what else y'all wanted, but that's that. All right, so we are going to offer some clarity around love bombing, where it stems from, and why it is so important as far as your emotional safety in a relationship is concerned. I will give you context based on the situation that I was in for educational purposes, just to make it easier for you guys to like connect the dots. Love bombing is a result of a very deep-seated need to feel desired, chosen, accepted, seen, wanted, coveted, which goes hand in hand with a lack of self-love and self-worth that comes from childhood experiences, adolescent experiences, adulthood experiences in which you were not chosen, accepted, wanted, desired, cheated on, betrayed, and you feel like you are not enough. Therefore, you develop a coping mechanism to create want from another person. You overpour into them in very dramatic and ferociously impulsive ways that are over the top in order to demonstrate to them that they are the center of your world, so they in turn treat you the same. It can be very manipulative if it is weaponized. There are some people who do it very subconsciously. It's just how they operate, because it's the only way that they know how to feel like they're enough for another person to give to them. Now we add on the unhealed trauma of a pivotal relationship in your adulthood where you poured 150% of yourself into your partner only to have them cheat on you in a very egregious and destructive manner, and have the ramifications of that impact your life for years after. So now you have to auto protect against that ever happening to you again, against you ever being victimized again, against you ever being emasculated again. You always have to have the upper hand. So you will always have people in your back pocket in case something goes wrong. You will always be the one that leaves the other person at the drop of a dime, because you refuse to be the one that is left ever again. And you will cheat on some of the people that you have been with just to feel like you have that upper hand, just to feel like you are in control and you are in a position of power. So now you're operating out of a space where you don't trust women, but you have an overwhelming desire to be wanted and needed by them. And you're pouring into this person who's looking at you and saying 1 + 1 is not equaling 2. Your stories aren't straight. There's discrepancies in your timelines. And I feel uncomfortable. My spirit feels uncomfortable. Something is happening. What does that turn into for you? It turns into anger. It turns into absolute resentment, because how dare this person? Like, I'm giving you everything. And whether or not people want to be conscious of it, when there is a money exchange. That money exchange energy is impactful. When the person pours into you and even jokingly says to you that they own you for life because of everything that they have invested in you, best believe that if you're out of line, your lack of compliance is going to result in anger. So now you're angry, but you don't want to hold the mirror to yourself and be accountable for the role that you played in the two of you getting to this point of discord. So you do one of two things. You either become avoidant or you have an outburst. If you become avoidant, you give the silent treatment indefinitely until you feel like coming back. I don't want to hear anything. If you have an outburst, you demonstrate that you have anger issues. You also start gaslighting. You make everything about the other person. You weaponize everything that they've said to you about the experiences that they've had and make them feel like they are the one that's wrong. They are the one that is crazy. They are the one that is anxious. They are the one that, again, is causing discord in your relationship, and you are the one that is just trying to be the best person that you can in order to deal with them. So now you have this person on the other side of the equation who has anxious attachment. Hello. They have abandonment wounds. They do not want the relationship to end because their nervous system cannot handle that. So they start apologizing. They start questioning their own sanity. Maybe it is me. Maybe I'm not remembering it correctly. Maybe my math is just off. Maybe they did say this and I don't remember. The other person takes this opportunity to now make amends and say, you know, I get it. We're both works in progress. Maybe it is me more than it is you. Yeah, it's definitely me. And does something overwhelmingly big to fix it. Maybe we buy a laptop. Maybe we go on a vacation. Maybe I buy you something for your kids in order to take us into that high that we're going to eventually plateau on and then dip back into a low anyway. At the end of the day, hurt people, and it doesn't necessarily make you a bad person unless you're being maliciously destructive. We should be able to meet each other where we are and support each other in our growth while we're together, as long as you're being honest, accountable, and doing the actual work. I supported this person in beginning his healing journey by joining therapy. Unfortunately, the impact of that was not enough within our relationship, and that could look completely different in his new relationship, which would align with my feeling that we don't have to be completely healed to be loved. Healing is a lifelong journey, and you will continue to experience different things in your life that will expose different parts of you that need to be addressed. As far as I'm concerned, though, taking a quick moment to shout out all of the beautiful women in these comments who are coming through with all of this positivity that I love to see. Thank you for the shout outs for the master's degree. I'm really excited about it. And I encourage you guys to continue these conversations with yourselves, with your partners, with your loved ones, with other women, and continue the advocacy for healing, for healthy relationships and love. So I shared parts of my story in order to provide context for my bestie's post regarding love bombing, but in reading some of the commentary, I feel it's necessary to provide some clarity to deepen understanding and to not have anything misconstrued, including my communication with my best friend about the relationship to begin with. So for the first few weeks of that relationship, I was silently happy in my delulu, meaning that I did not share anything about my experience with anyone. I had bought into the idea that, you know, we were older, we'd been married, we have older kids. We know that things didn't work out with other people, maybe because we were meant to be together this whole time. And we were so grateful that all those other things fell apart so that we could come together. We weren't looking for each other. It's not like we were on a dating app. We happened to meet on IG. So this had to be meant to be. And how can two people have so many things in common? Like, what two black people like Sting? Things like that were what, you know, made me gravitate and fall into. But I had apprehension about sharing it because I didn't know how anybody else was going to understand that. When I shared it with my best friend, she had paused. But my best friend will support me in any endeavor I feel is for my best, as long as I am physically and emotionally safe. And she told me to be careful. While I did tell her how he was doting on me, I didn't tell her that the I love yous had been exchanged already. I didn't tell her that he said he wanted to marry me and that he had me go to a jewelry store so I can find out my ring size, that he wanted me to have his baby. What I did tell her was that he was being really insistent on me picking up and moving, despite the fact that I had already enrolled in this master's program, because he just felt that we were fated and that it would work where he lived as well. He told me that I can go to school where he lived and not have to pay for anything, that he would take care of me while I went to school, and that it shouldn't be an issue. We would make arrangements for the kids to come down as I saw fit. And while it may seem like a beautiful romantic gesture to say all of those things, I had apprehension because first and foremost, I'm a mother and I have a responsibility to my sons. I have a responsibility to raise them properly, and that also involves setting a good example. I have not been with their father since 2013, and in that time I have I've only had them meet two people, including this last person, and it was those two people because they were two people that I thought that I could move forward in life with. I keep my dating life very private from them, so to uproot them or change their life because I just wanted to pursue my happiness didn't make sense to me, because they are part of my happiness and they would have to be part of that story in a very healthy, safe, and planned out way, which is the first reason why I didn't just jump and move. Secondly, I realized that this person was very impulsive, right? So I wanted to make absolutely sure that everything that they wanted and that they were laying out in front of me was because they truly wanted me. They saw something in me. They found value in me. They really did care about me, and they really did want to spend the rest of their life with me and make sacrifices in order for me to be a part of their life. I didn't want to feel like things didn't work out with other people because they wouldn't buy into it, and I'm the one that came along and bought into it, so I should be the one that fits into the square. There's a big difference between the two, and I felt that we needed time to make a proper assessment as to which one of those scenarios was true for us. Then there's the fact that I have my own goals and aspirations as an individual person outside of a relationship, and I was making big sacrifices to go back to grad school as a full-time student, and I was dedicated to that experience. And while it would have been great to been taken care of, and not have to worry about anything and just go to school in his state, it wasn't something that was realistic to me. It would have set off my timeline of graduation. A lot of things would have been different had I done that. And when we discussed we did have to have argument about it, he finally understood that that was my stance, and then became supportive of the endeavor financially. There was tuition, laptop, supplies. He made the decision to be supportive with the understanding that we would move forward with our plan to move in together once I was done with school. And even with the plan laid out, there were still other things that were necessary. Therapy was necessary because of issues that had come up. It was also necessary for there to be introductions to children and to family in a timely manner so that everyone can get acclimated to the idea. So him meeting my family and my kids, me meeting his family and children, and also, more importantly, me spending time with his family so everyone becomes acclimated to the idea. Because for me, I wasn't just in a relationship with this person. If I'm marrying you and I'm going to, cohabitate with you, then I am going to be with everyone that lives in that household as well. And, we have to make sure that everybody is cohesive, that everybody's going to get along, because it wasn't just about us at the time. All of those things were set into motion. He did start therapy. I was already in therapy. He met my kids and family. I met his kids and family and spent meaningful time with them within his home. However, the irreconcilable differences that I detailed in other videos were still present, and I did not have emotional safety in that relationship, and I did not trust my partner. So it culminated in us parting ways. There was an attempt at communication on his part in the couple of weeks following the breakup. However, I felt that it could have possibly led to a reconciliation into a situation that was as toxic or more toxic than before, because there was no time for change. Change doesn't happen overnight, in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, and it has to be something that you are completely committed to, accountable for. And I didn't feel that that's where he was in his development. So the relationship did not end because I preferred my master's program or because I didn't want to leave the state that I lived in. When you don't have emotional safety, when there is no trust, when there is deceit, when there isn't transparency, toxicity overrules.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thought and your story, and please keep it respectful. here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree and have different opinion, but we do it in a respectful way. We're a beautiful family here. We have amazing conversations. So feel free, go ahead and share your thought. So here's my thought on this. First off, I really like the conversation she's bringing about education and some of the things that we should look out for and all that. And like she said in our video, talking about how healing is a ongoing process, and because we're not here, that does not mean we can find love. Well, I have to point that out because you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm a big advocate of go do the work, go do the healing so that you can be a better person. As much as I agree with what she said, I also feel like you need to start the healing. You need to be in the healing journey where you know that you are in a good place to receive love. Like she was saying, she's in the healing process, but when this man came into her life and started love bombing her, because there was still that inner trauma that she has not healed, that she's still working on, she succumbed to it. But because of her healing process that she has started, she was able to take a step back, realize and identify it, and say, you know what, I don't think this is for me. I think I have to take a deep breath and all that. And then one thing I also want to point out is that she was talking about some of the things she didn't tell her bestie. And that, for me, that's one sign. I feel like when you're doing something wrong and when something does not feel right in you inside, even though as much as you really wish that the thing is right, is when you start holding it back from people that you normally confide to and tell the truth. You start holding certain truth and all that and not telling them the full picture. If you are in any situation like that or anything like that, that you're holding truth from people that you would normally confide in and tell the truth, but you're holding it back because you don't want them to confront you with the truth, or you don't want them to say that thing that look it deep down in your gut and in your intuition, you know it's wrong, because you don't want somebody else to point it out, you decide to hold it back, then you just know it. Like, you know that there's something you're avoiding. I just want to point that out because that happens to me too. And I use that to normally check myself when things like that happen to me. I'm like, why am I hiding? Why am I holding this back? Then this is not right, obviously, okay? Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to do a voiceover because my battery is dead now. So I'm just going to do a voiceover to conclude this video. But go ahead and just love me. So let me do voiceover now. Yeah, so another point I also want to make out is that ladies, don't, like, always take to caution before you pack up your life and move for anybody, like for anybody. Always ask yourself what is the need for you and will that place benefit you. A lot of us ladies will get to the point where we think like, oh, we found love and all that, and we pack up our life to go start afresh with this person in where this person already feels very comfortable in, and as it's established a life there, we pack up our life and we go, and then we get there, we're struggling because we're far away from family, friends, our jobs and all that. So before, I'm not saying nobody should make that big move to move and be with loved ones, but these love bombings are real. So if you're going to go move your life, be very, very intentional and ask yourself what's in it for you, or else don't, because you'll be the one to face the consequences. The loneliness sometimes can get really real, and especially when you have children like this beautiful woman, like, always take things into consideration. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this amazing conversation down in the comment section, but please keep it respectful. um Before I go, I think the other lady, the one that started the entire conversation, that is engaged to the man, I think they are engaged and I think they're getting married soon. I saw an update on that. So yeah. So anyway, guys, go ahead and share your thought. Love to know what you think. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see. And that will be you supporting this channel and this girl. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.